Hey guys, this is a finished concept. Well, not really finished, but it could be used for a lot of purposes. And this is a buoyancy engine. Basically, these are empty cylinders filled with gases or air that makes it buoyant or floating, basically. And this is water or other kinds of fluids. So as these are facing upward, the buoyancy pulls them this way. Basically, they float upward in this direction. So this mechanism inside, these are all floaters or filled with some kind of floating gases or air or anything that makes them float. Either they could be made of plastic or any other kind of material. And as they spin, the floaters on the up section will float upward, and these floaters will float from here this way. So as it spins around, the four or three or however many floaters inside a mechanism will make this mechanism inside spin, creating energy. So basically, let's say this is a water wheel. Water flows this way, and this here I have this section to show you. This is water going flowing this way, so it's making this spin this way. So the spin motion of the water, either a river or hydro plant, anyway, anything that spins, either water making it spin this way, will make this spin. Let's say we have an alternator uh, hooked up to the spinning motion of the wheel, of the water wheel. So that spinning motion creates energy into electrical power to the alternator or any other kind of power machine stuff. Anyway, that's one way to look at it. Now that's producing power from the spinning motion of the water wheel. But then we have this mechanism inside the water wheel that creates a secondary power source. So now we have two power sources, basically, possibly, and it has to be proven at this point, because we're not sure if it's going to work or not. It's hypothetical. Let's say it produces more power adding to this. So this is producing power from the spin motion. This is producing power from uh, the four or three cylinder floaters we have mechanism. So we have two power sources. So it could even double the power source or less or whatever, but it might have more power than what's being produced over here. So it's just a concept of possibly doubling the power source options. So in other words, just the spinning motion itself is producing power. But then the mechanism inside, you have these floaters as it spins, then the floaters themselves are producing power. So that's secondary power source created. So we have the first power source created, second power source created by buoyancy. So of the spin motion. So in both cases, you have two power sources, and it could increase the first original power source. So let's say this is one power source, and then you have this secondary power source being combined to make more power source than you had before by a single spinning motion. And that's just the point is that this could be used for uh, vehicle engines, um, or bicycles or boats or whatever. What I'm trying to say, anything that spins, it could be adapted to create more energy from the spinning motion itself by using buoyancy engine concept. In this case, this drawing. Uh, but at the same token, it could work. It may not work at the same time. This is just a concept. Uh, whether it be working prototype, I don't know. It could work, but um, it's pretty interesting the fact that it has a secondary power source created. In other words, the spinning creates the power source into the alternator of the water wheel, and then the internal mechanism using buoyancy concept will make the secondary power source being created. So, is this basically double the energy being created instead of one? In other words, if you have the water wheel by itself, but now you have this internal system, does it really create two power sources created? Basically meaning double the energy? I don't know. Uh, but I just bring this to you guys, and you guys, I don't know, you guys can try this out and see if it works. Um, It's just a concept. At this point, it could be added for a lot of purposes, but it's just a pretty interesting concept. Anyway, you guys have a good one. And like I said, if it works, great, and it can be used for cars, vehicles, and bicycles and stuff. The only drawback for that is basically using fluids is going to be a little bit heavier, but a car uses what, oil, gasoline, so even those are heavy fluids. So you never know. It could be a pretty awesome way to have a different form of engine propulsion. So there you go, guys.